Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. You know, I speak about Ripple and XRP and the crypto market itself, and why I'm so confident that Ripple and XRP, or that XRP is going to grow, and why I'm so confident that the crypto market in general is going to grow, because it's a new asset class. And you know, I speak very highly of XRP because it is the greatest digital asset ever created. But there's a third leg to this stool that every once in a while I talk about, but I truly believe that it's the biggest leg of this stool, and it's going to cause XRP and Ripple to be one of the most successful companies in the history of the world, and XRP to be the most successful digital asset in the history of the world. Those of you that are new to this, to my channel, will know that many times in the past I've talked about the links between the financial crisis of 2008 and Bitcoin, as well as just digital assets in general. Bitcoin was literally hatched right around the time that the banks were being bailed out and the financial crisis was going on, and so I've never thought that it was a coincidence, because Bitcoin came out and there was a finite amount of Bitcoin, and that was right in the middle of a lot of irresponsible governance with our money, and I think that Bitcoin was a partial response to that. But I've said many times, part of what makes these digital assets so great is they're limited in amount, and so and many of them are deflationary. Well, C3 Nick, and he sent me this, and he inspired the video I'm doing today pretty much with this one tweet that I saw he had sent me. If you have not followed at C3_Nick, he's probably one of the top three. He's the top, in my opinion, of all the Twitter people in the XRP Ripple space. He's not necessarily just a Ripple guy, but he does puts a lot of really good information out about Ripple. But he put this tweet out, and I thought that it was pretty profound what he was saying here, because it ties in with not just what I've said about the economy in the past, but it ties in with what Ripple's doing and what XRP is specifically being set up to be used for. His tweet says, during the financial crisis, the lack of liquidity and long settlement times were a big issue. Imagine if there was a system which could settle transactions in seconds while providing atomic transactions. Such a system is entering the exploitation phase as we speak. And I think we all know what he's talking about is Ripple and XRP. But I wanted to kind of first show you what in the financial crisis, it was a huge part of the problem was liquidity. And I want to read you this snippet. This was from Investopedia about the financial crisis. It says, the financial crisis of 2007-2008 has taught us that the confidence of the financial market, once shattered, can't be quickly restored. In an interconnected world, a seeming liquidity crisis can very quickly turn into a solvency crisis for financial institutions, a balance of payment crisis for sovereign countries, and a full-blown crisis of confidence for the entire world. But the silver lining is that after every crisis in the past, markets have come out strong to forge new beginnings. And I believe that Ripple and XRP is a great example, probably of the greatest new beginning to be hatched from a problem that was the financial crisis in the history of the world. And so next, what I want to show you is an article that, I don't know if I showed you this exact article on it, but this article is about the same thing. Not too long ago, it came out that JP Morgan's, one of their top guys, was envisioning the next financial crisis. But I want to read to you this line. The first line out of this, it says, the next financial crisis. His name is Marko Kolonovic. As Kolonovic explains as a part of his 168-page report issued earlier this month, a precipitous decline in stocks could cause the great liquidity crisis. In other words, he thinks the next financial crisis is going to be the great liquidity crisis. Now, who have we been talking about, or I've been talking about for at least the last 10 months? What product and what company and what digital asset are on a mission to solve the liquidity problems of this world? The answer to that is Ripple and XRP and XRapid, which is Ripple's product that uses XRP to help financial institutions solve liquidity problems and make things much cheaper for these institutions. But what I'm here to tell you today is that, yes, it's going to make it cheaper for those institutions, and yes, it's going to allow them to transfer money faster and cheaper than they've ever been able to do in the history of the world. But it's also going to be there when the next crisis comes along. And I think that that's what C3 Nick's tweet was really about. And he uncovered something that I really had not even brought into the equation yet. But I think that this is profound, and this is a huge thing in the scheme of things. Some of these banks may not even realize how much they will need XRapid in a scenario like that. Okay, there was also a tweet today that I think you need to see as well that has a little bit to do with this. And I'm going to give credit here. Chris Ness at CN Holdings, he tweeted this. This is the last 24 hours. I believe that's what he's referring to. Over 842,000 transactions took place on the XRP ledger yesterday, and the total amount in fees collected was 385 XRP, or $300 at the peak price of 80 cents. So tell me, why won't banks use this? I'll wait. This guy just nailed it on the head right there. I always go back to that article where Michael Arrington said that he sent $50 million from Arrington XRP Capital, his hedge fund. He was able to send $50 million through XRP at a cost of like 30 cents, and it went in 3 to 4 seconds. The world is about to change, people, and so you need to all get ready. And I really appreciate you listening to me. I am not an investment advisor. I'm the digital asset investor, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I really appreciate you all watching my channel. I am watching the Georgia-Missouri game right now. It's 20-7 Georgia. I don't really have a dog in this fight, no pun intended. My game is tonight, Auburn and Arkansas. So pull for Auburn, everybody. Thank you.